Welcome back, everybody. It's time to look for new positions and track some more transactions, so let's get right to it. Hello, welcome back, everybody. We are logged into the web application MyATMM.com. We are setting on the dashboard, looking at the performance tab, and today I'm going to be selling a cash secured put on Apple using ThinkorSwim, and we are going to do that in our demo account. So go ahead and switch over to the demo account. As you can see, there's currently nothing in here right now. We do need to go ahead and get some base information set up in here, give it some money to work with. As you can see, I have a test deposit in here. I'm going to put some more money in here. Since we're going to be using a ThinkorSwim On Demand account, it starts off with 100,000. So we're just going to put $100,000 in there. Go ahead and add that, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this test deposit. So we have some starting money in here. So the summary, now we got 100 grand in there. Okay, so we should be good to go. Go ahead and start from here. But right now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to ThinkorSwim. Here we are, logged into ThinkorSwim. We're setting in the on demand. We are looking at specifically November 3rd at 8:16. I need to go ahead and switch that. Let's go ahead and get it to start the day. All right. And I probably need to press play here. Yeah. Okay. So I already got Apple showing on the charts in here. And the 3rd, I believe, is a Monday. Yeah, the 3rd's a Monday. And like I said before, I'm going to show you how to sell a cash secured put in ThinkorSwim. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to properly track it in the web application MyATMM.com so you can always know what your cost basis is. So here we are again, setting on the chart in Apple. What you would want to do is come over to the trade tab, and Apple's already selected here because I have these all linked by the red label. And as I usually do, I usually sell at the money and I only do weeklies. So I would look for the next expiring Friday, which in this case would be November 7th because we're virtually setting on November 3rd, which is the Monday. So we would want to do an at the money put. And to sell these, all you got to do is left click on the bid. If you left clicked on the ask, it would be looking to buy it, but we want to sell it. So we would left click right here, and that would add the position down here. Again, it would be one cash secured put on Apple expiring November 7th. The strike would be 270 because that's currently where the stock is trading at. And normally you'd want to go for like the mark, which is the midpoint between the bid and ask. We're going to go ahead and just let it fluctuate here. And as you can see, that's about 1%, 270, 260. It's about 1% of it. So what you'd want to do is click confirm and send. And just review that information and click send. And it's in on demand, so it should fill pretty quickly, and that filled pretty much immediately. So here we can see the order filled, and we have the cash secured put. And right here, you can see filled orders. Now, something that's different about on demand is normally when you're doing this in a live account, you'd switch over to account statement and it would show you that transaction right here for you to basically use to go over and enter into the web application. But in on demand, it doesn't work there. So we're going to have to kind of fill in the blanks here. So back on activity in positions, you can look at the filled orders and you can see that it executed and it filled for 271. So what we need to do right now is go back over to the web application and enter that. Okay, here we are back at the web application, and we had already switched over to the demo account. We had already added an initial deposit, so we have some money to work with. What you'd want to do is you'd want to come over to the cost basis page. And again, since this is a cleaned out account, there's absolutely nothing in here. We were trading apples, so we'd want to go ahead and click the add button and enter the stock ticker symbol for Apple, which is AAPL. Click save, and now it is available for us to start entering transactions. So what we did is we sold a cash secured put. So what you do is come down here and click on new position. It defaults to today's date, which, is January 25th. Obviously, we're doing a simulated order here. I'm going to go ahead and set that back to the simulated order. So we're simulating November 3rd, 25th. we're selling to open, and we are selling a put. We are doing one contract, and the expiration date on that was November 7th. So come back here, November 7th, 2025. The strike that we did that at was 270, and the price we got for it was 271. All right. Now that we have that information, you can see this is in a draft position. As soon as we click save, it's going to move down into the put group because it's a put. So we're going to go ahead and click save. You'll notice the puts changed to 1 in here, and you can expand that and see the actual position in play. Something else it did is it basically took what your basically the premium you received and any default commissions and fees that you have in the system. Basically, you can see it pulled in 50 cents and the fees of a penny. And that's set over here in preferences. You can actually set up all your defaults. So depending on what commission you pay, if it's 65 cents, 50 cents, 30 cents, or whatever it happens to be, and any other fees, you can get it to where it will pull them in by default. And it bases that on like a sell to open or a buy to open. I'll actually jump over to preference screen here in a second and just show you the different options that are available. So in any case, as you can see, it moved down to 271, 50 cents for commissions and fees. And I do this as a way to help you because you're ultimately trying to add it to your permanent transaction history. And that's what determines your overall cost basis and the profits that you've achieved over time, and tracks your unrealized versus realized gains and losses. So this is just a helping staging area. And to basically move that down into this record for you so you don't have to do the math and calculations yourself, you can just press that button and it'll do the calculation for you, move it down there, move the description down for you. And the transaction date is setting to whatever the date was that you had originally put right there. And once it's all setting in there nice and neat, you click add transaction and that'll move it into the permanent transaction history for you. And as soon as we did move it down into the permanent transaction history, if you come back up to the top, the summaries have updated as well. And as soon as we added this shares from puts updated too. So up here, you can see that it put the 100 shares from the cash secured put that we sold. We put up 27,000 collateral by doing this. Whenever you sell the cash secured put, you have to put up collateral. That's $27,000 worth. You can see we had collected the total credits, the total premium from the option that we sold of 270.49. And overall, currently, that's where that's setting. So right now, we don't really have a cost basis because we don't own any shares, but we do calculate preemptively, like speculating of what your cost basis would be if you were assigned on the cash secured put. So that would put your cost basis at $270. That's what this cost basis with premium or with puts is. And right now we only have, started just selling one cash secured put. So, tracking that's not such a big deal, but over time, as you get assigned, sell covered calls, sell some more cash secured puts, and you're like really deep into the transaction history with this ticker, it will update and keep track of the cost basis with premium and the cost basis with puts. It'll track all of that for you in real time to help you make better decisions. Namely about like what is a safe strike to sell your covered call at. And we'll be getting into all that further along in the next videos that we do in this series. But what I want to do right now is go back to the dashboard and show you how these numbers have updated everything on the dashboard. So coming back over to the dashboard, you can see that initial deposit we made. The total brokerage should be the 100,000 plus the premium we just received, which was $270.49. And this number should match the cash and sweep over in ThinkorSwim. That's actually how I reconcile in my real account after I'm done entering all of the transactions for the day or for the week or whatever. I will go back to this dashboard, and this number right here matches exactly what the cash and sweep are over in ThinkorSwim. Yeah, so here I brought the ThinkorSwim back onto the screen, and you can see the cash and sweep vehicle is the 100,271. And obviously it's not tracking commissions or fees over here in the on-demand section, which is why our number is smaller, because we did account for the commissions and fees in the web application. But like I was saying, for reconciliation, this number matches that one exactly in the live ThinkorSwim account. That's how I know I entered all of the transactions correctly into the MyATMM web application. And also on this dashboard, you can see we have the collateral showing and the credits. And, right now we just did one single transaction, so it's not too big of a deal, but you can probably see the potential is as you are, not only adding more transactions to just Apple, but if you're doing transactions on other tickers, this starts to really come in handy to see your overall picture, your overall summary of where you're currently at. And you can also see the capital left. This is important because I like to monitor how much cash or capital I have in the account versus, when I'm approaching possibly using margin on a margin account. So as long as I keep this number above 0, I know I am definitely not using margin in the account. That's kind of like a safety guide that I use. Now, when this number starts going negative, then I know I'm definitely probably using margin in the brokerage account. And that's just an easy, quick way for me to tell if I am approaching that or not, because some of the brokerages don't really track it. And it's kind of like they keep it a mystery, almost kind of like they're wanting you to use margin so they can secretly charge you. Um, but in any case, that's available in this web application, so you can always keep a heads up on that. Over on the positions tab, it'll show just the Apple one that we did, because that's the only transaction we've done in this portfolio. And so it has the high level summary information about that. Deposits, withdrawals, you already saw that. What you can look at these other two tabs at your convenience, but one tab that I do want to make mention of is the performance tab, because here we are in 2026. Now, it did track that. I mean, you can see right here, it's not showing that 2025 transaction here because we're looking at 2026. And we tracked it for what, November 3rd, I believe, November 7th, something like that. Anyway, you can see we have 2025 data in here. So if we click 2025, there is the transaction that we did back in that world. Yes, and the reason why it's showing 200% is because if you remember, we added the deposit as of what, today? I think I should go back and change that. Yeah, let's go back and change that, because that should change these numbers considerably. So let me come back in here, and sadly, I have not added an edit yet, but let me come back here and put this in. We will say we deposited it November 1st, and we will just label it deposit and put 100,000 again and click save. And we want to delete that January 25th one. All right, so now let's come back over to performance tab and see how that changed things. So see, we're setting on 2025 again, and you'll notice 2026 went away because we do not have any transactions in 2026, whether it be a deposit or an option that we sold or anything. We have 0 transactions or deposits in 2026, so 2026 is not showing. And so now you'll see we had $100,000 in deposits, and we had that in premiums, and that was our net working capital. But now you can see the performance went, down, because obviously $270 on that is obviously 0.53, not that crazy 200% number you saw before. So anyway, in the next video, I will be showing you what happens to that cash secured put if the price does not go in your favor and you end up getting assigned, and how to track that in the web application. And that's where tracking really starts to matter. See you in the next one. I want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and go out today to MyATMM.com and get your free account so you can start tracking your own transactions. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.